the years, the Nigerian farmer has continued to face the challenge of accessing inputs such as fertilizer, which is key in boosting crop productivity and ensuring bumper harvests for farmers. In Benue State, the onset has not been witnessed, though farmers have resumed the cultivation of various crops with high hopes. However, these lofty expectations may only become a reality if farmers have timely access to fertilizer in its right quality at affordable rates. How have farmers been able to contend with the high cost of this all-important input in achieving their targets? And what can be done in checkmating fake and adulterated fertilizers in the industry for farmers to have value for their money? These and many more will be the focus on our discussion on Panorama today. I am Susan Omale. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has assured that the federal government will continue to support Imo State government to unlock the economic potential of the state. He gave the assurance in Oguta while flagging off the dredging project of the Oguta Lake up to the Atlantic Ocean. Kingsley Ononiwu has the details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the dredging of Oguta Lake to Orash River up to the Atlantic Ocean will enhance job creation as well as boost economic activities in Imo State. He noted that the project is a vital collaboration between Imo State government and Nigerian Navy, and therefore assured the continuous support of the federal government in assisting Imo State to unlock its economic potentials.
We aim to revive this once vibrant and economically strategic channel, furthering job creation and sustainable growth in Imo State and the entire Southeast region, and indeed our nation. By enhancing coastal connectivity and facilitating seamless transportation, the project will promote trade and investment and spur growth in multiple sectors, including shipping, manufacturing, agriculture, and also offer numerous opportunities for the people.
The Vice President also announced that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved Ohaji, Egbema, and Oguta oil and gas free trade zone, which he says will boost economic activities not only in Imo State but the entire Southeast zone. In Owerri, Kingsley Ononiwu, NTA News.
Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasin, is urging the incoming administration to fast-track the implementation of different sections of the Petroleum Industry Act for the benefit of Nigerians. Pengasin President Festus Osifo says aggressive implementation of the PIA will not only further deepen the development of the mainstream sector of the Nigeria oil and gas industry, but also lead to the provision of gas infrastructure in the country. Lydia Sampson reports.
Most African countries is resource-rich, but experts have over time posited that these resources have not clearly translated to desired gains. The deadweight that accompanied all revenue for decades is subsidies, and the consensus here is that it has to go.
For every $1 billion Nigeria spends on fuel subsidy, it is $1 billion out of education, $1 billion out of healthcare.
We are in a situation where in economics we call it tragedy of the commons, which is a situation where within a community everyone recognizes what's the right thing to do, what will benefit everyone. But if any one person tries to do the right thing and the others don't follow, then they're going to be worse off.
Panelists are of the view that policy direction must be frontally adhered to, with the sole aim of promoting viable economic performance that will reflect in the overall development index of the country driven by restructuring.
We have a political culture that has no regard for public service, that's driven by pursuit of personal interest, and most of the time, self-enrichment or enrichment of my state or my ethnic group, or is a toxic political culture that has developed.
If we don't tame the politics, if we don't produce what I call productive politics that has dominated over time, we are not going to be able to achieve both speed and sustainability.
We have a new government come May 29. The only way that government will perform is if we go back to those roots where merit is what determines how this government that comes in will be run.
Development, the sustainable variant, is not a naturally occurring phenomenon. It is created.
There are cases in which reforms have happened, federal agencies have been run properly, etc. So that cannot be the sum total of the explanation. That is another set of theories that we need to set aside.
The general take here is that the incoming administration must take deliberate steps to ensure the right policies coexist with the right drivers. In Abuja, Lake Tumbaba today, NTA News.
Training women in digital technology has been described as a vibrant approach toward bridging gender inequality in the 21st century. This is the advocacy of Nigerian women at a conference to mark 1 year in office of the 15th President of the National Council for Women Societies and her executives. Ngozi Technical reports.
Women are taking advantage of every opportunity to embrace digitization in order to fit into the demands of the 21st century. The 15th National Executives of the National Council for Women Societies is building the capacity of our members to bring them at par with the reality of time.
Because the skills and abilities we are giving our children now, if we do not put AI, artificial intelligence and Internet of Things within it, in 20 years' time, whatever they learned will be obsolete.
There was a COO of our land that we were looking for over 20 years. That in just 1 year, something that has been struggling for over 20 years, we've gotten it through the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs.
Recounting the achievements of the 15th NCWS, key players give their scorecard.
We have the numerical strength. The only way we can make a difference and get ourselves in various positions is to love one another, support one another, stand by one another.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallinn, alongside other women, were honored for their remarkable contributions to women empowerment. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
And Muhammadu Buhari has assured Benue people of his determination to deliver on promises of improving the standard of education in the state and the country at large. The president gave the assurance during the inauguration of 6 state-fund infrastructural projects at the Benue State University, Makurdi. Correspondent Moses Ajaode reports that the president was represented by the Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume.
The 6th project, which includes well-furnished academic office block and office block at the College of Health Sciences, Faculty of Education Complex, Faculty of Science Campus and Health and Counseling Development Center, is part of third-fund projects executed under the year 2014-2016 and 2017-2020 merged annual intervention. Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari, appealed to the university community and the Benue people to continue to support government at all levels.
Hence, the federal government will continue to provide necessary support towards making educational institutions globally competitive, economic and technological development of our country.
Executive Secretary, Third Fund, Sonny Echono, reassured the university community and Nigerians that the Third Fund will continue to invest in the provision of requisite infrastructure to aid teaching, learning and research across the nation's institutions of higher learning.
In Benue State, where the fund has 8 beneficiary institutions, we have invested no less than 18.3 billion in the provision of physical infrastructure alone.
I wish to express my profound appreciation to the federal government through Third Fund for the profound impact on the landscape of our campus and the unquantifiable intellectual building capacity that we have benefited from over the years.
The sixth project, inaugurated, commenced in May 2019 and was completed in April 2023 in Makudi. Moses Ajaokudi, NTA News.
The Benue State Security Council has resolved to tackle insecurity in the state through the use of satellite gadgets to nip criminality in the bud. Deputy Governor of Benue State, Benson Aboni, who chaired the meeting, noted that attacks on Benue communities by bandits in recent times have been devastating. Charles Abba reports.
The Benue State Security Council meeting took hours of deliberation. It was chaired by the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Benson Aboni, who indicated that the council x-rayed the state of insecurity in various communities of the state at the moment and came up with a number of strategies to reduce the menace.
That community members should be encouraged to be watchful and provide security surveillance in their respective areas and transmit information gotten to relevant authorities. That the Benue State government should make provision for satellite phones and internet-based communication radios and gadgets, especially to communities where there are no mobile communication networks, to enhance quick transmission of information to the security operatives. That emphasis should now be on prevention of attack by headers rather than the reactionary approach that we have been having.
In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Panorama continues after this break. Do stay with us.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
With the rains gradually setting in, farmers are in high hopes of witnessing a bumper harvest and adding value for their efforts. However, this can only become reality if necessary inputs are available for prompt use. Elias Itiav examines the need for timely availability of fertilizers, its affordability and quality.
The rains have gradually set in and farmers are taking advantage of the season by engaging in a variety of farming activities. However, the scarcity or absence of inputs such as fertilizer and its availability, as well as high cost of the product, have become recurring constraints in the quest for increased productivity.
When the produce is available, the price will be very high for the common man to buy. Some people will just go and then they will start selling it for bigger price to farmers, and most of the farmers can't afford the money to buy the fertilizers.
Many people carry their own hard-earned money to buy this fertilizer, and at the end they'll discover that it's cheap. So the government should also make policies about the fertilizer.
With the desire of governments at all levels to transform agriculture from its subsistence nature to a form of business, these lofty dreams can only be realized with timely provision of fertilizers, checking sharp practices in the industry, and making it affordable within the reach of the average farmer.
Sometimes we can buy the fertilizer and we came to understand that the whole of this is just sand. You cannot make money to you. The government should make sure that they handle the issue of fertilizer itself instead of giving it out to the people that normally brings the bad one from us. And then it should be aid, because most of the crops, if you didn't apply any fertilizer, at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. I expect farmers to get it with high hopes, with a positive mind, and the government should pay attention to farming, so that at least we will be self-sufficient in production.
For these farmers and many out there, food sufficiency and security for the nation is non-negotiable if these challenges are addressed to pave way for a friendly farming environment. In Makudi, Elias, ETF, NTA News.
And joining me to throw more light on this is Mr. Felix Ali. He's the Fertilizer Inspector, Farm Input Support Services Department, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Makudi. Sir, it's good to have you join us on Panorama.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now let's begin. Fertilizer availability and quality has always been a challenge for farmers. Why is this persistent?
Thank you very much. Actually, it's sad that our people have delved into this kind of practice of, consciously or intentionally hoarding this product. You see, because fertilizer is a major major input in any crop production or activity. You cannot rule it out. If you want to get bumper harvest, if you want to get good yield at the end of your harvest season, you must use fertilizer. And if you don't use fertilizer, of course, you know the effect of it. Yes. There will be nothing reasonable. You invest money into this kind of input, and then you don't get anything, So it's not good at all.
So why is this persistent? Is there anything that is being done by the ministry to, put an end to this?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, the Federal Minister, the President Muhammad Buhari in 2019 signed into law what we call the National Fertilizer Quality Control Act 2019 and Regulation 2020. The objective of the regulation is, one, to protect the interest of farmers against nutrient deficiencies, misleading claims, adulteration, underweight, and the rest of them. It is also to create an enabling environment for actors in the industry to also put their effort and money into the business, and I see that something good come out of it. It's also for us to have a good environment, because there are these people that use our fertilizers inappropriately, and at the end of the day, it has negative impact on our soil.
On the crops.
Yes.
Okay. Now the rainy season is here, and farmers have commenced, the farming activities with the hope of accessing this input. So, will this hope be actualized? Is the fertilizer available?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, fertilizer from 2021, there have been this issue of fertilizer shortage, not unavailable completely, it's not. We still have it coming in, it's just that the demand is much, the demand is much, and we went out to make findings to produce, blenders, some actors in the industry, and they told us that the cost of raw material in producing fertilizer, blending, it's so high now. And other logistics included. And as a result, those who invest into it, you see that at the end of the day, they are not really making anything, because there are these people that jump into it. Somebody will come buy a good fertilizer, 1 bag, and go out to produce about 5 bags out of it, courtesy of adulteration.
We are talking about adulteration now.
Yes. So, generally, the fertilizer is not completely enough. Okay, it's not enough, but the government is making effort. And that's why this law is very important, that you don't come and play anything. You don't come into the system anyhow again. We want to know who you are, so that we can know what is being produced, what is being blended, and how is it going out, who is buying it, where is it going to. these are some of the things the government has put in place.
Okay, and has this helped, in order to make it available to the farmers?
Well, there's a saying in my language that you don't dream in one night and dream all the dreams in the world. It's not 100% there yet, but we are saying that with this law, people are beginning to behave well, and we are hoping that as the season continues, I think our farmers will rejoice.
Okay, now we were talking about the adulterated fertilizers. Have people been caught? Have they been prosecuted? Is there anything in place like that?
Yeah, in Benue State here, we started our sensitization somewhere late 2021, and last year we used the whole of last year for sensitization. In fact, we did one last month, on the 27th of last month. And you don't just go to the market and begin to arrest people. They need to know, you need to sensitize them that, look, this is what is in place now. If you don't do this, you are not permitted to sell fertilizer. And if you even have the certificate, you are not permitted to do this. So the sensitization, the enforcement has started already, and we are calling people, that those who are in the fertilizer industry have not registered, to come and register. So we are trusting God at the end of the day it will be good.
Okay. Now, how do you ensure that farmers get value for their money?
Okay, thank you.
In this case?
Yeah, that is the reason why this law is in place. Now we are telling farmers, we are telling dealers that no matter who you are, whatever you are doing, first and foremost, you must register with Farm Input Support Services Department of the Ministry. Okay. You have to come and verify where you are, your location, who you are, and of course you are selling to our farmers. And if you are not going in line with the requirement of the law, of course, the law will catch up on you. So for now, I would say that the government is making effort, and we are trusting God that it's going to be nice, and the farmers will rejoice.
Okay. Now, what's your word to the farmers and to the general public concerning this?
Well, to our farmers, Benue is a farming community, and that's why I'm so interested in this matter. I want to tell our farmers that there's a law now to regulate fertilizer activities in Nigeria called National Fertilizer Quality Control Act 2019, Regulation 2020. If you have issues, if you buy fertilizer and you are not sure of the quality, you can call to come to Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and make your complaint. And we are sure, we just want to assure you that we're sure that we are going to give you full support, and you will not regret it.
Yes, you were talking about organic fertilizer. Which of them is more important when it comes to the crops?
All the fertilizers are organic, both organic and inorganic. Yeah. They are okay for the crops, yeah.
Depending on what type of crop you're talking about.
In fact, you can use organic fertilizer for all types of crops. You can use inorganic for all types of crops.
Okay, so how do we differentiate it?
No, the thing is that the organic fertilizer does not have a side effect like the inorganic. The inorganic is a chemical. Okay, so you don't have issues with the organic fertilizer. Of course, it comes from a natural materials.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for coming to share your thoughts with us on Panorama.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the 12th of May every year is a global awareness day dedicated as International Nurses Day. The global community is using this year's commemoration to pay tribute to the nurses' selfless service and advocate the need to protect, support, and invest in the profession to strengthen health systems around the world. Olusheye Adebo, while tracing the history of the day and its significance, also seeks to know the Nigerian nurses how to take pride in practicing in today's healthcare advancement.
Observed since 1965, International Nurses Day celebrates the contributions of nurses to society. It is fixed for every 12th of May, the birthday of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nurses. Back home, Nurse Kobe Omo and her counterpart Oke Oyindamola have both been practicing for more than 10 years. To these nurses, relieving pain, providing comfort, and saving lives is something to be proud of, and they take joy in the profession that makes a difference in people's lives.
It's a good thing to really celebrate nurses. Our main job is caring for the patients. As a nurse, we have that opportunity to care for the mind, the soul, the body.
Because nurses, we are always there at the beginning of life. And also, we are always the last person standing at the point of death.
Some days you feel bad, especially when you're not able to save a patient, and then some days are good when, after all the hard work you've done, you're able to bring somebody back to life.
For a profession generally ascribed to females, the nurse who find themselves in nursing go the whole hog. The current national president, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Michael Nachi, is a nurse educator with about 15 years experience.
I'm happy to be a nurse. I'm happy to touch the life of others.
Michael Nachi also speaks on the challenges facing the nursing profession in Nigeria.
Because of conditions of service, some of the nurses are leaving Nigeria to areas of greener pasture, where they are recognized, properly remunerated.
Nurse Oke Oyindamola and these older nurses are hoping that this global celebration and other engagements will help the nursing profession in Nigeria take its rightful place. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News. Olusheye Adiagbo.
Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 4, Musa Haladu, has charged commissioners of police under his command to redouble their efforts in the fight against crime in their various commands. The charge in a meeting held with the commissioners of police of Plateau, Nasarawa and Benue State. Moses Ode Ajao reports.
The meeting, which was held behind closed door, is the first of its kind since the new AIG, Musa Haladu Samson, assumed duty as the 40th Assistant Inspector General Police, Jufo Makudi. The police chief hinted that the essence of the meeting was to address the security challenges in the zone and the need to fashion out modalities that will aid operations of officers of the various command in the zone.
The National Broadcasting Commission has applied for the certified copy of judgment of the Federal High Court nullifying the powers of the Commission to impose fines on broadcast stations that violate the provisions of the country's code. A statement by the Director General of the Commission, Balara Beshehu Ilela, says the Commission will appeal against the judgment when found to be in conflict with the previous judgment of the court. And that does it on Panorama today. Thank you very much for staying with us and have a pleasant day.